How's it going, everybody? Poser Mobile here, bringing you some absolute bangers that are all on sale on the PlayStation Store for the Critics' Choice sale that runs through February 25th. As usual, I've scoured this sale for all the full games, game bundles, and premium editions that are at the lowest price they've been in recent history, and are at least a 70 on OpenCritic or Game Rankings. So if that sounds like the kind of video you want to see, make sure you hit that subscribe button so you don't miss my daily coverage of every sale that Sony puts out. I'm trying to get to 25k by the end of the year, so every bit helps. Alright, that's enough yapping for me, let's get into the video. For $9.99, Disco Elysium: The Final Cut is a narrative RPG where you play a deeply flawed detective unraveling a murder while carving your own path through the city of Revachol. With fully voiced dialogue, a unique skill system that shapes your thoughts and actions, and unparalleled player choice that lets you interrogate, manipulate, or self-destruct in unforgettable ways, it delivers one of the most original role-playing experiences ever made. It's a 92 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 6 out of 10, and about 60 hours to platinum. For $9.99, Detroit Become Human is a cinematic narrative adventure from Quantic Dream that pushes the boundaries of interactive storytelling with stunning visuals, emotional depth, and meaningful, far-reaching choice that truly immerses players. Set in the futuristic city of Detroit in 2036, society thrives on the labor of androids, until they begin to show signs of consciousness and rebellion, throwing the world into chaos and moral uncertainty. It's a 79 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 3 out of 10, and about 20 hours to platinum. For $9.99, Yakuza 6: The Song of Life follows Kazuma Kiryu 3 years after Yakuza 5 as he seeks a quiet life, only to find Haruka in a coma and her young son Haruto in danger. To protect Haruto, Kiryu travels to Onomichi in Hiroshima, navigating a merciless underworld of rival Yakuza factions, relying on unlikely allies, and exploring a richly detailed city filled with side activities, minigames, hidden secrets, and tense street brawls. It's an 84 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 3 out of 10, and about 40 hours to platinum. For $9.99, The Elder Scrolls V Skyrim Special Edition is a remastered open-world fantasy RPG where you explore the vast province of Skyrim as the Dragonborn, a hero born with the power to combat dragons, shape the world's fate, and influence political factions. The game features enhanced visuals, remastered effects, volumetric god rays, dynamic depth of field, and screen space reflections that bring the province to life in stunning detail. It's a 92 on Game Rankings, trophy difficulty around 5 out of 10, and about 125 hours to platinum. For $9.99, The Pathless is a mythic adventure where you play as the Hunter, a master archer exploring a vast, mystical island alongside your loyal eagle companion to dispel a curse of darkness that threatens the land. You'll perform fluid acrobatics, execute trick shots with a unique archery system, and soar through forests, meadows, and snowy tundras, while solving ancient puzzles and learning the island's dark, haunting, hidden history. It's a 78 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 2 out of 10, and about 15 hours to platinum. For $9.89, Undertale is a quirky, genre-defying RPG where you explore a world full of strange, lovable characters and face moral choices that determine how your unique story unfolds. You'll navigate turn-based battles where negotiation can replace violence, and dodge enemy attacks in a unique system that blends strategy with bullet hell mechanics, all while encountering charming pixel art and a story full of unexpected twists. It's a 93 on Game Rankings, trophy difficulty around 2 out of 10, and about 5 hours to platinum. For $7.49, Judgment is a gritty action detective thriller from the creators of the Yakuza series that follows disgraced lawyer-turned-private eye Takayuki Yagami as he hunts a serial killer through Kamurocho's neon-soaked streets. Investigate crime scenes, tail suspects, and gather evidence in a tense story that explores corruption, redemption, and the blurred line between truth and justice, all while uncovering the city's darkest secrets. It's an 83 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 7 out of 10, and about 120 hours to platinum. For $9.99, Okami HD is a beautifully remastered action-adventure that transforms the world into a living Sumie ink painting, letting you play as Amaterasu, the Japanese sun goddess in the form of a legendary white wolf. Journey across the ruined lands of Nippon, battling the 8-headed demon Orochi, and using the celestial brush to manipulate the environment, solve puzzles, and unleash divine attacks in a uniquely artistic way. It's a 92 on Game Rankings, trophy difficulty around 3 out of 10, and about 60 hours to platinum. For $5.99, Castlevania Requiem, Symphony of the Night, and Rondo of Blood is a classic action platformer collection that bundles two of the most beloved entries in the series into one package. With Richter Belmont's stage-based challenge in Rondo of Blood, Alucard's exploration-driven adventure in Symphony of the Night, and iconic gothic music paired with tight side-scrolling combat, it delivers a timeless Castlevania experience. It's an 87 average on Game Rankings, trophy difficulty around 5 out of 10, and about 15 hours to platinum. For $9.99, BioShock The Collection is a remastered anthology of the award-winning BioShock series, where you return to the haunting city of Rapture in the skybound Columbia to experience their gripping, story-driven worlds. You'll explore richly detailed environments and engage in intense combat with a mix of powers, weapons, and strategy, while uncovering the dark histories of these iconic settings. It's a 92 average on game rankings, average trophy difficulty around 5 out of 10, and about 65 hours to get all 3 platinums. For $7.99, Catherine Full Body is a captivating puzzle adventure where you follow Vincent, a man torn between his long-term girlfriend, Catherine, the alluring Catherine, and the innocent Rin, as he navigates love, temptation, and personal turmoil. What begins as a provocative, relationship-driven story evolves into intense, nightmarish climbing challenges that test your wits, reflexes, and decision-making under pressure. It's an 81 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 7 out of 10, and about 75 hours to platinum. For $6.24, Overcooked 2 is a chaotic co-op party game that sends you back to the Onion Kingdom to save the world once again through frantic kitchen action and fast-paced teamwork challenges under pressure. With local and online multiplayer for up to 4 players, constantly shifting kitchens filled with hazards, and a wide variety of recipes like sushi, burgers, and cakes, it delivers non-stop teamwork-driven chaos and laughs. It's an 82 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 4 out of 10, and about 15 hours to platinum. For $9.99, Bloodstained Ritual of the Night is a gothic horror action side-scrolling RPG set in 19th century England, where you play as Miriam, an orphan cursed by an alchemist whose body slowly crystallizes. You'll explore a demon-infested castle, battle grotesque minions and powerful bosses, and collect, craft, and unlock a vast array of weapons, spells, and equipment to customize your combat style and overcome supernatural horrors. It's an 83 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 4 out of 10, and about 30 hours to platinum. For $5.99, Dishonored 2 is a first-person stealth action game where mysticism and industry collide in the plague-ridden Empire of the Isles. You play as either Empress Emily Caldwin or her father, Corvo Attano, each with their own supernatural abilities, weapons, and playstyles, in a story of revenge and political intrigue set in the steampunk-inspired city of Karnaca, where every mission offers creative freedom to strike from the shadows. It's an 87 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 5 out of 10, and about 35 hours to platinum. For $9.99, Kentucky Route Zero TV Edition is a surreal, magical adventure about a secret highway running through underground caves in rural Kentucky at twilight and the strange souls who travel it on mysterious, winding paths. You'll follow an eclectic cast of lost wanderers, a delivery driver, a haunted TV repairwoman, a boy with a giant eagle, and more, as their fates intertwine across forgotten places that bend time and memory. It's an 89 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 1 out of 10, and about 10 hours to platinum. For $9.99, Castlevania Advance Collection is a 4-game anthology of early 2000s action exploration classics, including Circle of the Moon, Harmony of Dissonance, Aria of Sorrow, and Dracula X, where you battle Dracula and his minions across sprawling, intricate 2D castles. You'll use unique systems like dual setup, spell fusion, and item crash, while mastering abilities and enjoying tight combat, exploration, and challenging encounters. It's an 83 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 3 out of 10, and about 25 hours to platinum. For $9.99, Resident Evil 7 Gold Edition is a first-person survival horror game that follows Ethan Winters as he searches for his missing wife inside the terrifying Baker Mansion. With an intense shift to immersive first-person horror, brutal encounters against the Baker family, and all DLC included like banned footage, End of Zoe, and the Not a Hero chapter starring Chris Redfield, it delivers the complete and definitive RE7 experience. It's an 86 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 5 out of 10, and about 25 hours to platinum. For $8.99, Assassin's Creed 4 is an open-world action-adventure where you play as Edward Kenway, a daring pirate navigating the Caribbean during the golden age of piracy in 1715, seeking fortune, fame, and vengeance. You'll sail across vast oceans, engage in naval battles, and explore vibrant islands filled with hidden treasures and dynamic encounters, all while unraveling a deeper conspiracy involving the Assassins and Templars. It's an 86 on game rankings, trophy difficulty around 5 out of 10, and about 50 hours to platinum. For $6.24, Risk of Rain 2 is a fast-paced roguelike where you fight through hordes of relentless monsters on an alien planet, solo or with friends, mastering each character's unique abilities to survive. You'll explore visually striking locales, collect over 110 powerful items, and adapt to a scaling system that grows both you and your foes stronger over time, while unlocking 10 unique survivors and experimenting with artifacts to modify gameplay. It's an 86 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 3 out of 10, and about 15 hours to platinum. For $8.99, Watch Dogs Legion is an open-world action-adventure where you build a resistance to reclaim a near-future London on the brink of collapse, fighting a powerful surveillance state while shaping the city's future. Recruit and play as virtually anyone in the city, each with unique skills and backstories, using their abilities to hack drones, deploy spider bots, and take down enemies combining stealth, combat, and high-tech tactics. It's a 74 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 3 out of 10, and about 40 hours to platinum. For $6.29, Star Ocean Till the End of Time is a classic JRPG where you explore vast worlds, uncover the deepest secrets of the Star Ocean universe, and engage in a dynamic real-time combat system blending strategy, skill, and action. You'll traverse diverse planets, meet richly written characters, and experience an epic story balancing personal drama, interstellar conflict, and universe-altering revelations that reshape everything. It's an 81 on Game Rankings, trophy difficulty around 7 out of 10, and about 130 hours to platinum. For $5.99, Resident Evil Code Veronica X continues the saga of Claire and Chris Redfield as they struggle to survive against zombies and monstrous experiments created by the Umbrella Corporation. Scavenge for weapons, ammo, and key items while facing horrifying creatures lurking in twisted corridors as you explore the Rockfort Island facility and Antarctic base, uncovering secrets that reveal the unsettling truth behind the Ashford twins. It's an 82 on Game Rankings, trophy difficulty around 6 out of 10, and about 15 hours to platinum. For $7.99, Chrono Cross, the Radical Dreamers Edition, is a remastered classic RPG that expands on the original Chrono Cross with upgraded HD 3D models, refined illustrations, enhanced music, and modern quality of life features that respect its original vision. Explore 2 intertwined parallel worlds, meet over 40 party members, and experience a richly layered story that spans dimensions while influencing the fate of the planet itself. It's a 92 on Game Rankings, trophy difficulty around 3 out of 10, and about 30 hours to platinum. For $5.24, Bloodstained Curse of the Moon 2 is a 2D action platformer blending classic retro aesthetics with modern gameplay, where you control Zangetsu, a swordsman on a relentless quest to vanquish demons and the alchemists who summon them. What begins as a solo mission evolves into a strategic adventure as Zangetsu can recruit new allies, each offering unique abilities and varied ways to tackle stages with tactical flexibility. It's an 81 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 3 out of 10, and about 10 hours to platinum. For $9.99, Neva is an emotionally charged action-adventure from the creators of Gree, following Alba, a young woman bound to a curious wolf cub, as they navigate a world slowly decaying around them, filled with secrets, danger, and moments of quiet reflection. Together, they embark on a perilous journey, learning to cooperate, face dark forces, and grow stronger as the wolf evolves from a rebellious cub into a powerful, loyal companion. It's an 87 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 2 out of 10, and about 5 hours to platinum. For $6.24, Bayonetta is the original cult classic action-adventure game that introduces the formidable Umbra Witch, who awakens after 500 years with no memory of her mysterious past or the dark forces pursuing her. Thrust immediately into chaotic battles, she must confront countless angels and demons using stylish, combo-driven combat and acrobatic gunplay, while unraveling the truth behind her origins and reclaiming her lost power. It's an 88 on Game Rankings, trophy difficulty around 6 out of 10, and about 40 hours to platinum. For $7.99, Inscryption is a dark, mind-bending card-based adventure, blending deck-building roguelike mechanics, escape room-style puzzles, and psychological horror. Acquire a deck of woodland creature cards through draft, surgery, and self-mutilation, uncover hidden secrets within Leshy's cabin, and navigate increasingly disturbing challenges that twist reality, testing both your wits and courage while keeping you constantly on edge. It's an 86 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 5 out of 10, and about 50 hours to platinum. For $6.29, Star Ocean: The Last Hope is a sci-fi JRPG set after Earth's devastation in World War III, following humanity's first steps into deep space during an ambitious interstellar exploration era in search of a new home. You'll explore distant planets, form relationships with alien races, and engage in fast-paced, real-time combat with skill-based mechanics and party-driven strategies, while uncovering a threat that endangers all of creation. It's a 74 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 5 out of 10, and about 500 hours to platinum. For $7.49, Alien Isolation is a first-person survival horror game where Amanda Ripley searches a remote space station for clues about her mother, while an unstoppable xenomorph stalks her every move from the shadows. You'll creep through claustrophobic corridors as you manage scarce resources and use careful stealth to slip past hostile humans, malfunctioning androids, and the creature itself, while the station grows increasingly unstable. It's an 81 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 4 out of 10, and about 25 hours to platinum. For $5.99, Control Ultimate Edition combines the base game with all expansions, including the Foundation and Awe, delivering a complete, visually stunning experience. Step into the Federal Bureau of Control, where a corruptive presence threatens reality itself, and wield telekinetic powers alongside transforming weaponry to annihilate enemies, manipulate environments, and uncover dark secrets throughout unpredictable levels. It's an 85 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 4 out of 10, about 20 hours to platinum. For $8.99, South Park The Fractured But Whole is a hilarious RPG where you play the new kid, joining Stan, Kyle, Kenny, Cartman, and friends in a crime-fighting adventure through the chaotic, crime-ridden streets of South Park. Customize your superhero, recruit a roster of bizarre allies like Mysterion, Toolshed, and Human Kite, and engage in strategic, turn-based combat that combines powers, gadgets, and environmental interactions. It's an 82 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 3 out of 10, and about 20 hours to platinum. For $7.99, Far Cry New Dawn is an open-world first-person shooter set in a vibrant, colorful, yet dangerous post-apocalyptic Hope County, Montana, 17 years after a global nuclear catastrophe reshapes the land. You'll battle the ruthless Highwayman twins in solo or online co-op, build up your home base with recruited specialists, and scavenge resources across reimagined locations to survive and thrive while unlocking new weapons and abilities. It's a 73 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 3 out of 10, and about 20 hours to platinum. For $9.99, Mortal Kombat 1 ushers in a reborn Mortal Kombat universe crafted by the fire god Liu Kang, delivering fast-paced, brutal fighting action that both longtime fans and newcomers can fully enjoy across beautifully realized stages. You'll master a revamped combat system with deeper combos, execute devastating fatalities and brutal special moves, and explore new and returning game modes while battling iconic and new characters. It's an 84 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 4 out of 10, and about 50 hours to platinum. For $5.99, Trover Saves the Universe is an offbeat comedy adventure where your dogs have been dognapped by a lunatic using their life essence to destroy the entire cosmos, and only you and Trover, a reluctant purple eye-hole monster, can save everything. Explore alien worlds, solve puzzles, and make morally questionable choices, while upgrading both Trover and yourself with unique abilities and fast-paced, chaotic, and often absurd gameplay. It's a 76 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 3 out of 10, and about 10 hours to platinum. For $7.99, Prey Deluxe Edition is a first-person sci-fi immersive sim from award-winning Arcane Studios that reimagines the franchise with intense psychological twists aboard the doomed Talos 1 space station. You'll survive a hostile alien outbreak using a variety of weapons and creative player-driven problem-solving, then dive into the challenging roguelike Mooncrash DLC and the tense multiplayer hide-and-seek mode Typhon Hunter. It's an 81 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 4 out of 10, about 45 hours to platinum. For $7.49, Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3 is a high-octane 2D fighting game featuring frenetic 3-on-3 tag battles where iconic Marvel and Capcom characters clash in spectacular, fast-paced, over-the-top combat. You'll master combos, chain devastating attacks, and experiment with team strategies in modes like Heroes and Heralds, then test your skills online against players worldwide in intense, competitive multiplayer matches. It's an 81 on game rankings, trophy difficulty around 10 out of 10, and about 70 hours to platinum. For $7.49, 12 Minutes is a real-time, top-down interactive thriller where a romantic evening turns into a nightmare after a police detective bursts in, accuses your wife of murder, and kills you, only for you to wake up moments before it all happens again. Trapped in a relentless 12-minute time loop, you must use observation, deduction, and perfect timing to unravel the mystery, alter events, and find a way to break the cycle once and for all. It's a 74 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 2 out of 10, and about 10 hours to platinum. For $8.99, the Metro Saga Bundle includes all 3 acclaimed games, Metro 2033 Redux, Metro Last Light Redux, and Metro Exodus Gold Edition, delivering one massive, story-driven first-person shooter experience. Journey from the claustrophobic tunnels beneath Moscow to the vast, dangerous wastelands of post-apocalyptic Russia, fighting both human and mutant threats in tense, cinematic encounters. It's an 82 average on OpenCritic, average trophy difficulty around 4 out of 10, and about 90 hours to get all 3 platinums. For $7.99, Vampyr is a narrative-driven action RPG set in 1918 London, where you play as Dr. Jonathan Reed, a physician newly turned vampire torn between his duty to heal and his growing thirst for blood. You'll stalk the city's fog-drenched streets, battling vampire hunters and supernatural foes, while deciding who to feed on to survive, with every death reshaping the intricate web of relationships among London's desperate citizens. It's a 72 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 4 out of 10, and about 35 hours to platinum. For For $9.99, Onimusha Warlords is a remastered action-adventure classic that follows Samurai Samanosuke on a quest to rescue a captured princess and purge a demonic invasion threatening feudal Japan. You'll wield elemental weapons, solve environmental puzzles, and engage in fast, precise sword combat against hordes of grotesque creatures and cunning bosses, all enhanced by smooth analog controls and modern refinements. It's an 84 on game rankings, trophy difficulty around 5 out of 10, and about 15 hours to platinum. For $7.49, Superhot is a stylish, mind-bending first-person shooter where time only moves when you move, transforming every firefight into a tense, strategic puzzle that blends careful planning with explosive bursts of violence. Fight through stark white arenas using time-bending mechanics, improvised weapon grabs, and precise slow-motion gunfights that make every bullet, swing, and dodge feel cinematic and intensely tactical. It's an 82 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 6 out of 10, and about 20 hours to platinum. For $7.99, Superliminal is a first-person puzzle game where perception is reality, and you must navigate a surreal dreamscape after falling asleep during Dr. Pierce's late-night therapy commercial that promises unusual results. Inspired by optical illusions, the game challenges you to think outside the box, resizing and manipulating objects to solve puzzles that constantly twist and bend your sense of perspective in unexpected and inventive ways. It's a 75 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 3 out of 10, and about 5 hours to platinum. For $9.99, Monster Boy and the Cursed Kingdom is an action-adventure game that revives the beloved Monster World series, created alongside the original Wonder Boy mastermind. Guide Jin through a vibrant, hand-drawn world, transforming into 6 unique forms with distinct combat and platforming abilities, while exploring vast lands, defeating challenging enemies, and uncovering hidden secrets across forests, caves, and magical kingdoms. It's an 86 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 4 out of 10, and about 30 hours to platinum. For $7.49, Lovers in a Dangerous Spacetime is a 1 to 4 player couch co-op action game where you pilot a neon battleship through a perilous galaxy, battling the evil forces of anti-love. You'll man different ship systems with friends or AI companions, coordinating teamwork to survive chaotic encounters, upgrade your ship with powerful space gems, and adapt to each new challenge that emerges across colorful, enemy-filled environments. It's an 82 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 4 out of 10, and about 10 hours to platinum. For $6.49, Sayonara Wild Hearts is an action game where you ride motorcycles, skate, and engage in fast-paced combat while chasing high scores, performing stunts, and breaking hearts at 200 miles an hour. As the heart of a young woman shatters, the balance of the universe is disturbed, and a diamond butterfly guides her through a surreal highway in the sky to confront her masked alter ego, the Fool, while mastering each rhythm-based challenge. It's an 86 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 5 out of 10, and about 10 hours to platinum. For $8.74, Viewfinder is a mind-bending first-person puzzle adventure that lets you reshape reality by bringing photographs, sketches, and postcards to life in the world around you. As you explore multiple interconnected hub worlds, you'll manipulate the environment, uncover hidden secrets, and solve inventive spatial puzzles that challenge perception, logic, and creativity at every turn, while gradually revealing the mysterious story behind the world. It's an 83 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 3 out of 10, and about 5 hours to platinum. For $7.99, Castlevania Anniversary Collection is a compilation of classic 2D action platformers that trace the origins of the legendary vampire hunting franchise, featuring 8 beloved games plus the previously untranslated Kid Dracula. You'll explore the gothic castles and haunted landscapes of each title and master tight platforming and combat mechanics while uncovering the lore of the Belmont clan and their allies. It's a 78 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 5 out of 10, and about 20 hours to 100%, no platinum for this one. For $9.99, Valkyria Chronicles 4 Complete Edition is a tactical RPG set during the Second European War, following Commander Claude Wallace and Squad E as they fight for the Federation's survival. Lead turn-based battles through the Blitz system, deploy units like Scouts, Shock Troopers, and Grenadiers, and experience an emotional war story expanded with the 2 Valkyria, expert-level skirmishes, and a united front with Squad 7 DLCs. It's an 84 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 3 out of 10, and about 60 hours to platinum. For $5.99, Civilization VI is a turn-based strategy masterpiece where you build an empire to stand the test of time, exploring new lands, researching technologies, conquering enemies, and competing against history's greatest leaders to create the ultimate civilization. This PlayStation 4 edition includes the latest game updates and 4 major DLC packs, adding new civilizations, leaders, and scenarios to expand your strategic options. It's an 89 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 5 out of 10, and about 60 hours to platinum. For $9.89, Mega Man 11 brings the Blue Bomber back in a stunning new entry that blends classic, challenging 2D platforming with vibrant hand-drawn environments, detailed 3D character models, and beautifully animated cinematic sequences. Battle Robot Masters steal their powerful weapons and experience the innovative double gear system to boost speed and power, adding fresh layers of strategy, skill, and excitement to the beloved gameplay. It's an 81 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 8 out of 10, and about 15 hours to platinum. For $5.99, The Division is a tactical third-person shooter RPG set in a post-pandemic New York City, where society has collapsed after a deadly virus outbreak. You'll explore an open world packed with missions, encounters, and collectibles as you battle rival factions, reclaim territory, and customize weapons, armor, and skills to suit your playstyle through deep progression systems and intense firefights in seamless online co-op or PvP. It's a 79 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 5 out of 10, and about 60 hours to platinum. For $5.99, Titanfall 2 Ultimate Edition is a first-person shooter where you pilot agile titans and skilled pilots through vertical combat across futuristic battlefields, combining parkour and firepower to dominate the chaotic frontier. You'll experience the full single-player campaign and competitive multiplayer, and use all unlocked titans, pilot classes, and advanced loadouts from the Jumpstart pack while customizing weapons and war paints. It's an 87 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 6 out of 10, and about 20 hours to platinum. For $7.49, Ghost Runner is a hardcore first-person action game set in a grim cyberpunk megastructure where lightning-fast combat, parkour, and relentless precision define every moment. Climb Dharma Tower, humanity's last refuge, confront the tyrannical Keymaster Mara, and slice through enemies with a monomolecular katana while dodging bullets and executing advanced precision techniques in a deadly one-hit, one-kill environment. It's an 81 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 6 out of 10, and about 15 hours to platinum. For $9.89, Ghost Trick Phantom Detective is a puzzle-filled mystery adventure where you play as Sissel, a ghost who wakes up with no memory after being murdered, and must solve the mystery of his own death before sunrise. You'll possess and manipulate objects and unravel intricate puzzles while interacting with a cast of charming and eccentric characters, using your supernatural abilities to influence events and uncover hidden clues across the city. It's an 86 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 3 out of 10, and about 15 hours to platinum. For $9.79, The Quarry is a cinematic horror adventure where you play as 9 summer camp counselors trapped in Hackett's Quarry, facing bloodthirsty locals and a far darker supernatural threat. You'll make critical choices for each character, influence who survives, and experience high-tension sequences brought to life by incredible performances from a star-studded cast, including David Arquette, Ariel Winter, and Brenda Song. It's a 79 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 2 out of 10, and about 35 hours to platinum. For $9.99, Knights and Bikes is a 2D action-adventure set on a British island in the 1980s, following best friends Nessa and Demelza as they explore Pen Furzy in search of a legendary lost treasure in a whimsical, Goonies-inspired coming-of-age story. You'll pedal through windswept beaches, deep forests, and ancient ruins, using frisbees, water balloons, and quirky gadgets to overcome obstacles, collect trinkets, upgrade your bikes, and solve puzzles. It's an 80 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 2 out of 10, and about 15 hours to platinum. For $7.49, Observer System Redux is a cyberpunk psychological horror game that casts you as the neural detective Daniel Lazarski in the dystopian year 2084. Investigate a grimy Krakow apartment block using neural interrogations, Dream Eater mind dives, and redesigned stealth mechanics, while experiencing PS5 enhancements like 4K resolution and HDR lighting, and new side cases like Errant Signal or Fearful Symmetry, and It Runs in the Family. It's an 80 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 2 out of 10, and about 10 hours to platinum. For $7.99, Ashen is an open-world action RPG where you play a wanderer seeking a place to call home, navigating a vast, punishing world filled with danger, secrets, and opportunities for discovery. Encounter other players in a passive multiplayer system, choosing to fight together or go it alone, while exploring dynamic, beautifully crafted environments from murky bogs to sprawling fjords, ancient palaces, and hidden ruins teeming with lore. It's an 80 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 8 out of 10, and about 25 hours to platinum. For $9.99, XCOM 2 Collection is a massive turn-based strategy epic where you lead a desperate global resistance to overthrow Advent and reclaim Earth from brutal alien occupation forces. Command elite squads through permadeath tactical missions, manage your mobile adventure base with deep research and resource systems, and face deadly new rulers in War of the Chosen alongside DLC like Alien Hunters and Shen's Last Gift. It's an 87 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 9 out of 10, and about 100 hours to platinum. For $9.99, Rogue Legacy 2 is a roguelite where every child in your lineage has distinct traits and abilities, and your legacy defines your progress. Explore randomly generated kingdoms filled with new monsters and layouts, master 15 different classes, uncover heirlooms that permanently enhance abilities, engage in Metroidvania-style exploration, collect relics that modify your runs, and adapt to ever-changing, procedurally generated biomes. It's an 84 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 5 out of 10, and about 40 hours to platinum. For $5.99, Bramble the Mountain King is a dark, emotional, story-driven adventure set in a haunting world inspired by Nordic folklore and tragic, deeply unsettling fairy tales. You play as Oli, a young boy on a perilous journey to rescue his sister from a terrifying troll, navigating eerie forests, murky swamps, and shimmering valleys filled with grotesque creatures and cinematic set-piece encounters that blur the line between dream and nightmare. It's a 79 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 3 out of 10, and about 10 hours to platinum. For $8.74, Still Wakes the Deep is a tense first-person horror game from the Chinese Room, placing you aboard a 1970s North Sea oil rig as a worker struggling to survive a vicious storm and an unimaginable horror. Explore a beautifully realized, evolving rig with no weapons, relying on wits and determination to sneak, climb, swim, and avoid a relentless, terrifying presence in storm-battered, claustrophobic, constantly shifting environments. It's a 76 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 3 out of 10, and about 10 hours to platinum. For $7.49, Nobody Wants to Die is a noir-style narrative adventure set in New York, 2329, where immortality comes at a cost and the lines between right and wrong blur. Play as Detective James Cara, investigating a serial killer who targets the city's elite, using time manipulation augmentations and advanced technology to reconstruct events and expose dark secrets in a society where death is a distant memory and morality is optional. It's a 77 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 2 out of 10, and about 5 hours to platinum. For $9.99, For the King 2 is a roguelite RPG where you assemble a party to overthrow the tyrannical Queen Rosamund and restore peace to the fractured realm of Farul. Strategize through turn-based battles on a tactical grid, explore procedurally generated biomes across a 30-hour campaign in Infinite Dark Carnival mode, and roll dice-driven encounters in solo or 4-player co-op that demand coordination and careful planning. It's a 78 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 6 out of 10, and about 180 hours to platinum. For $9.99, Ghost Song is a moody 2D Metroidvania where a long-dormant dead suit awakens on the desolate moon of Lorien to uncover lost memories and buried cosmic truths. Explore winding alien caverns and long-abandoned research labs, master blaster and melee combat that builds heat for devastating strikes, and acquire powerful suit modules and traversal upgrades to unlock new paths while battling fungal horrors and metal husks. It's a 78 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 6 out of 10, and about 20 hours to platinum. For $8.99, Rune Factory 4 Special is a fantasy life sim RPG where you rule the town of Selphia after falling from the sky onto the native dragon Ventus Will and begin building a new life. Grow crops and raise monsters to strengthen your farm, explore trap-filled dungeons with customizable weapons and magic, and build relationships through seasonal festivals and marriage while unlocking Newlywed Mode and fully voiced bonus episodes. It's an 82 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 4 out of 10, and about 125 hours to platinum. For $9.99, Yakuza 4 Remastered is an action-adventure crime drama that follows Kazuma Kiryu, Shun Akiyama, Taiga Seijima, and Masayoshi Tanemura as they investigate a murder tied to the Tojo clan. Switch between 4 fighting styles across Kamurocho's streets, tackle side stories and minigames like hostess clubs and underground arenas, and unravel a conspiracy fueled by money, power, and a mysterious woman at its center. It's an 80 on Game Rankings, trophy difficulty around 6 out of 10, and about 80 hours to platinum. For $9.99, Crow Country is a survival horror game that blends eerie exploration with challenging puzzles, atmospheric storytelling, and a deeply mysterious story. Navigate the abandoned theme park of Crow Country, uncover hidden secrets, and piece together the truth behind Edward Crow's disappearance, while confronting strange monsters and disturbing events, with every step demanding careful observation and problem solving. It's an 82 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 2 out of 10, and about 5 hours to platinum. For $9.99, Yakuza 5 Remastered expands the Dragon of Dojima saga across 5 interconnected cities, 5 playable protagonists, and a sprawling story about loyalty, ambition, and the unbreakable bonds that tie the Yakuza together. After trying to live a quiet life as a cab driver, Kiryu is once again drawn into Japan's criminal underworld as tensions between the Tojo clan and Omi Alliance threaten to ignite a full-scale, bloody war. It's an 84 on Game Rankings, trophy difficulty around 7 out of 10, and about 120 hours to platinum. For $9.99, Outlast Trinity is a first-person survival horror bundle that includes Outlast, Whistleblower, and Outlast 2, delivering 3 terrifying stories of investigative journalists confronting unspeakable horrors. Sneak through Mount Massive Asylum as Miles Upshur, uncover Murkoff's secrets as Wayland Park, and survive the cult-ridden Arizona desert as Blake Langerman using only a night vision camcorder. It's a 76 average on OpenCritic, average trophy difficulty around 8 out of 10, and about 35 hours to finish both games. For $9.99, Sniper Elite 3 Ultimate Edition is a third-person shooter set in 1942 North Africa, where you take down Axis forces, sabotage their plans, and survive using stealth, precision, and long-range sniping. This Ultimate Edition includes the base game, 9 DLC packs with massive new environments, 6 weapon packs, additional multiplayer maps, and shooting range, giving players the fullest, most action-packed experience of the series. It's a 75 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 5 out of 10, and about 40 hours to platinum. For $5.99, Cardo is a charming hand-drawn adventure game built around a unique, world-altering puzzle mechanic where you manipulate the map to reshape the environment and unlock previously inaccessible areas. Use these powerful cartography abilities to solve clever environmental puzzles, assist a quirky and memorable cast of characters, explore diverse regions, and guide Cardo on her heartfelt journey back to her long-lost family. It's a 77 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 2 out of 10, and about 5 hours to platinum. For $8.99, Sonic Origins lets you relive the classic adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog, Sonic 2, Sonic 3 and Knuckles, and Sonic CD in fully remastered high definition, complete with smoother animations and updated visual effects. Speed through iconic zones like Green Hill and face off against Dr. Robotnik's Death Egg robot while enjoying new areas, additional animations, expanded challenges, and a brand new anniversary mode. It's a 76 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 2 out of 10, and about 10 hours to platinum. For $9.99, Bionic Bay is a sci-fi platformer where a scientist uses a unique teleportation device to escape an ancient biomechanical world filled with deadly traps and inventive technology. You'll manipulate gravity, swap positions with objects and enemies, and master a realistic physics system while navigating intricate levels rendered in high-density pixel art with atmospheric sound design, creating a tense, thrilling, and immersive experience. It's an 86 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 8 out of 10, and about 10 hours to platinum. For $9.99, Gunvolt Chronicles Luminous Avenger IX2 amps up the series' signature high-speed 2D action, letting Copen tear through enemies with his new break shift and bullet shift forms. Traverse massive towers filled with diverse stages, hidden secrets, challenging encounters, and powerful bosses, while mastering Copen's upgraded bullet dash, razor wheel, and EX weapons to exploit enemy weak points and clear stages efficiently. It's a 79 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 5 out of 10, and about 10 hours to platinum. For $5.99, Vampire the Masquerade Justice is a stealth-focused narrative RPG set in the world of darkness, where you become a vampire prowling the shadowy streets of Venice to punish the guilty and uncover sinister plots. Use stealth, persuasion, and an arsenal of upgradable powers to sneak past enemies or unleash vampiric abilities like fangs, blood cauldrons, and shadow traps to exact brutal vengeance. It's a 72 on OpenCritic, and I'm not sure about trophy difficulty or time to platinum as it's such a small sample size. For $6.99, Wild Hearts is an action-packed hunting game set in a fantasy version of feudal Japan, where you track and battle colossal beasts known as kimono, infused with the raw power of nature. Use deadly weapons, ancient karakuri technology, and strategic environmental manipulation to craft traps, set up hunting grounds, coordinate with allies, and take on these fearsome creatures alone or in seamless co-op with friends. It's a 78 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 4 out of 10, and about 60 hours to platinum. For $9.59, Halls of Torment, the Bog Bundle is a horde survival game with a pre-rendered retro look, where you choose from multiple heroes and battle endless waves of unholy creatures in deadly underground expanses. Strengthen your hero with traits, abilities, and items, explore ever-twisting halls, and venture deeper into the abyss while surviving terrifying lords, with the Boglands expansion adding new heroes, mechanics, and challenges. It's an 84 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 6 out of 10, and about 70 hours to platinum. For $7.49, The Division 2 is a tactical online RPG where you join elite civilian agents to save Washington, D.C., a city transformed by storms, flooding, and chaos, while battling hostile factions and protecting society's survivors. Complete seasonal objectives, strategically specialize your agent with unique skills and mods, and team up in co-op or competitive PvP to liberate the city and rebuild settlements while uncovering new threats. It's an 83 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 4 out of 10, and about 50 hours to platinum. For $9.74, Despelote is an intimate soccer-focused narrative experience about people, childhood, and community, told through the eyes of 8-year-old Julian in the streets and parks of Quito. You'll freely dribble, pass, and shoot a ball around real neighborhoods, interacting with locals as ambient conversations, radio broadcasts, and city sounds create a snapshot of daily life shaped by Ecuador's World Cup hopes and everyday cultural rhythms. It's an 85 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 4 out of 10, and about 5 hours to platinum. For $8.99, LEGO Marvel Collection is an action-adventure bundle featuring 3 LEGO Marvel games and all their Season Pass content. Smash through levels in LEGO Marvel's superheroes against Loki, relive MCU battles in LEGO Marvel's Avengers, and face Kang the Conqueror in LEGO Marvel Superheroes 2 with time-hopping stages, massive character rosters, and drop-in co-op across all 3 campaigns. It's a 75 average on OpenCritic, average trophy difficulty around 3 out of 10, and about 130 hours to get all 3 platinums. For $5.99, Chasm is a pixel art Metroidvania, where a rookie knight investigates a vanished mining town in the Gildaean Kingdom. Battle supernatural creatures in tight side-scrolling combat, explore handcrafted rooms stitched into a procedurally assembled world map, and uncover powerful gear hidden throughout ancient catacombs and crumbling castles, while unlocking new traversal abilities that open previously unreachable paths. It's a 72 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 6 out of 10, and about 15 hours to platinum. For $7.49, Felseal Arbiter's Mark is a story-driven tactical RPG, following Arbiter Kyrie as she fights to maintain order under the Immortal Council. Command squads across elevation-based battlefields and turn-based encounters, customize your roster through a deep class system with 20-plus classes and 200 abilities, and outfit your army with crafted or looted gear, while progressing through 40-plus story missions and challenging endgame content. It's an 83 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 5 out of 10, and about 60 hours to platinum. For $7.49, Wasteland 2 Director's Cut is a post-apocalyptic tactical RPG where you lead a desert ranger squad across a brutal wasteland shaped by your choices. Tackle turn-based combat with over 150 weapons, solve quests through lockpicking or brute force, and navigate reactive storylines where short and long-term decisions permanently alter towns, factions, companions, and even entire regions of the Arizona and California wastelands. It's an 81 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 4 out of 10, and about 50 hours to platinum. For $9.59, God Eater 2 Rage Burst is an anime-style action RPG where a new recruit battles Origami during the deadly Black Plague outbreak. Wield transforming god arcs in fast-paced hunts, master over 400 blood arts and blood bullets to customize your combat style, unlock powerful skills, upgrade your weapons, and team up online in 4-player co-op missions against towering Origami across a fully voiced 100-plus hour campaign. It's a 73 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 5 out of 10, and about 90 hours to platinum. For $9.59, Monster Hunter Rise and Sunbreak is a hunting adventure bundle, combining the base game and its massive Sunbreak expansion in one set. Explore expansive maps, track and battle fearsome new monsters, utilize the wire bug for unprecedented mobility, ride your loyal Palamute companions into combat, and face increasingly challenging hunts with friends or solo in dynamic environments full of surprises and epic encounters. It's an 87 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 5 out of 10, and about 250 hours to platinum. For $9.99, Astalon Tears of the Earth is an action platformer where 3 adventurers climb a twisted tower to save their village, bound by a pact with the Titan of Death that turns dying into part of progression. You'll switch between a fighter, rogue, and wizard to solve puzzles, battle tough enemies and bosses, uncover powerful artifacts, and unlock shortcuts across hundreds of interconnected rooms in a beautifully detailed 8-bit inspired world. It's an 84 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 5 out of 10, and about 25 hours to platinum. For $5.99, The King of Fighters 14 is a fighting game featuring a roster of 50 characters ready to duke it out in King of Fighters' classic 3-on-3 team versus battle system. Experience refined online features, a variety of user-friendly game modes, and an epic storyline that spans multiple arcs, tournaments, and rivalries, while mastering flashy combos, team mechanics, character-specific special moves, and advanced strategies to dominate opponents. It's a 79 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 6 out of 10, and about 50 hours to platinum. For $7.99, the Contra Anniversary Collection brings the classic run-and-gun franchise to modern platforms and introduces a new generation of players to its intense, action-packed gameplay. Blast through waves of enemies and epic bosses while enjoying a digital bonus book filled with concept documents, the official franchise chronology, an exclusive interview with the veteran producer, and other behind-the-scenes content. It's a 76 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 7 out of 10, and about 15 hours to 100%, no platinum for this one. For $5.99, Pumpkin Jack is a spooky, scary 3D platformer where you embody Jack, the mythical pumpkin lord, and dive into an epic adventure helping the evil annihilate the good across otherworldly landscapes. Jump, run, and climb through unique, colorful levels filled with physics-based puzzles, dynamic combat against challenging beasts, unlockable weapons, and quirky companions like a haughty owl and snarky crow to aid your journey. It's a 74 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 3 out of 10, and about 10 hours to platinum. For $7.99, Fury is a boss-focused action game where you must fight your way out of captivity by facing a series of relentless, intricately designed guardians and uncovering the dark secrets behind your imprisonment. You'll combine lightning-fast sword strikes with precise dual-stick shooting, dodging and countering in rhythmically intense encounters that demand mastery of timing, reflexes, and strategic stamina management. It's a 78 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 8 out of 10, and about 25 hours to platinum. For $9.99, Riders Republic is a massive multiplayer extreme sports playground where you can ride bikes, skis, snowboards, or wingsuits and explore an open-world sports paradise filled with chaos, competition, and tricks. Race, grind, and battle against over 20 players simultaneously across iconic U.S. national parks like Yosemite, Zion, and Bryce Canyon, customizing your character and taking on both career challenges and multiplayer events. It's a 78 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 4 out of 10, and about 55 hours to platinum. For $9.99, Resident Evil Deluxe Origins Bundle delivers 2 survival horror experiences, including HD remasters of Resident Evil and Resident Evil 0, along with the all-new Wesker mode. You'll explore tense, atmospheric environments, solve intricate puzzles, and manage scarce resources while facing relentless enemies, traps, and unexpected scares, all with options for modern or classic controls. It's an 87 average on game rankings, average trophy difficulty around 5 out of 10, and about 55 hours to get both platinums. For $8.99, Dead or Alive 6 is a 3D fighting game featuring new stages, characters, and expanded gameplay mechanics that push the franchise's signature combo-driven action to new heights. Master brutal combos, flashy counters, and dynamic environmental interactions while competing in both solo and online multiplayer matches, unlocking new costumes, fighting styles, and special cinematic moments that heighten the intensity. It's a 74 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 4 out of 10, and about 15 hours to platinum. For $5.74, the Entropy Centre is a clever first-person puzzle adventure where you manipulate time itself to rewind objects and unravel the mystery of a collapsing space station orbiting a dying Earth. You'll tackle increasingly complex rooms as you reverse platforms, restore destroyed structures, and chain together precise solutions while Astra, your chatty time-bending AI companion, offers guidance, humor, and crucial narrative clues. It's an 81 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 3 out of 10, and about 10 hours to platinum. For $5.99, Nidhogg 2 is a side-scrolling dueling game that builds on the award-winning gameplay of its predecessor, adding new weapons, levels, and grotesque over-the-top art from Toby Dixon. Challenge friends or AI in fast-paced duels, compete in 8-player tournaments, fully customize characters head to toe, and experience a pulsating soundtrack that elevates every intense, edge-of-your-seat battle. It's a 77 on OpenCritic, and there's unfortunately a broken trophy making the 100% currently unobtainable. For $6.99, Need for Speed Heat Deluxe Edition is a high-octane racing game where you hustle by day and risk it all by night, battling a city's rogue police force while climbing the ranks of street racing's elite. The Deluxe Edition adds exclusive starter cars, special wraps, and high-performance vehicles like the Mitsubishi Lancer Evolution X, BMW i8 Coupe, and Mercedes C63 AMG, giving racers an early advantage and unique customization options. It's a 72 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 4 out of 10, and about 50 hours to platinum. For $7.99, The Surge 2 Premium Edition is a challenging sci-fi action RPG set in the chaotic Jericho City, where armored soldiers enforce martial law, rogue robots run amok, and a deadly nanostorm threatens the skyline. The Premium Edition includes the full game plus all Season Pass content, featuring the Kraken Story Expansion, the Borax 1 Quantum Mace, the Public Enemy Weapon Pack, and Jericho's Legacy Gear Pack. It's a 77 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 5 out of 10, and about 35 hours to platinum. For $9.99, Wargroove is a turn-based strategy game set in the vibrant kingdom of Cherrystone, where Queen Mercia must flee her home and rally allies to save her people from an encroaching enemy. Players take command of diverse units, from agile archers to mighty fire-breathing dragons, across beautifully designed maps, mastering terrain and unique commander abilities to outsmart foes and overcome challenging missions. It's an 83 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 9 out of 10, and about 40 hours to platinum. For $5.99, Pathfinder Kingmaker Definitive Edition is a choice-driven single-player RPG that lets you explore, conquer, and rule the wild stolen lands of Galarian through deep storytelling and complex party-building systems. Create heroes from hundreds of classes and abilities, recruit 12 companions with unique personalities and quests, and shape your destiny through impactful moral choices, political alliances, and kingdom management. It's a 72 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 10 out of 10, and about 300 hours to platinum. For $8.99, Five Nights at Freddy's VR Help Wanted is a terrifying collection of classic and original minigames set in the Five Nights universe. Survive relentless animatronic encounters across faithfully remade scenarios from Five Nights at Freddy's, repair malfunctioning systems and ventilation shafts under intense pressure, and endure nerve-wracking nights in the security office with both VR and non-VR modes fully included. It's a 79 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 6 out of 10, and about 20 hours to platinum. For $5.99, Citizen Sleeper is a narrative-driven sci-fi RPG where you play a digitized human consciousness in an artificial body, escaping the corporation that owns you. Use dice-driven tabletop-inspired mechanics, build meaningful relationships with salvagers and hackers who shape branching storylines, and hack into the station's cloud to uncover corporate secrets and rogue AI conspiracies across the complete expanded episode arc. It's an 84 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 2 out of 10, and about 15 hours to platinum. For $7.99, Beyond Blue is an ocean exploration adventure set in the near future, where you step into the shoes of a deep-sea scientist to study and interact with the mysteries of the ocean. You'll join a research team using cutting-edge technology to track, observe, and document marine life across vibrant, untouched underwater environments, while experiencing an emotional and educational narrative brought to life by a full voice cast. It's a 72 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 1 out of 10, and about 5 hours to platinum. For $7.99, 2 Point Hospital Jumbo Edition is a quirky hospital management sim where you build and run a sprawling healthcare empire across 2 Point County. Design and optimize 27 unique hospitals across locations like Bigfoot and Peverly Island, diagnose and treat 189 bizarre illnesses with outlandish cure machines, and manage staff, research upgrades, and hospital prestige through 4 major expansions and bonus item packs. It's an 84 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 5 out of 10, and about 80 hours to platinum. For $5.99, Momodora Reverie Under the Moonlight is a dark fantasy action platformer following a priestess as she journeys to save a cursed land from spreading corruption. Chain fluid melee combos and precise dodge rolls against grotesque enemies and towering bosses, explore interconnected gothic regions filled with hidden items and spells, and challenge yourself with punishing difficulty modes that test reflexes and timing. It's a 79 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 7 out of 10, and about 10 hours to 100%, no platinum for this one. For $6.99, The Artful Escape is a psychedelic musical adventure about a teenage guitar prodigy forging his own cosmic stage persona. Shred through vibrant, rhythm-based platforming sequences across surreal alien landscapes, craft a flamboyant sci-fi identity with customizable backstory and dazzling stage style, and interact with eccentric beings voiced by Lena Headey and Jason Schwartzman as music dynamically shapes the world around you. It's an 80 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 2 out of 10, and about 5 hours to platinum. For $5.99, Need for Speed Rivals is an open-world arcade racer where cops and street racers clash in a relentless, high-speed rivalry. Tear through winding highways and mountain roads in exotic supercars, switch between cop and racer careers with distinct challenges and pursuits, and use pursuit tech like EMPs, spike strips, and turbo boosts to outmaneuver opponents in thrilling chases. It's an 80 on OpenCritic, and the platinum is unfortunately unobtainable as the online servers have been permanently shut down. For $5.99, Nidhogg is a fast-paced dueling game that blends intense swordplay with minimalist arenas, testing reflexes and strategy in one-on-one matches. Compete locally or online, navigate 4 dynamic arenas, exploit your opponent's weaknesses, and refine your timing, tactics, and movement while enjoying a dynamic, energetic soundtrack by Daedalus that reacts to the action and heightens the tension. It's an 81 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 6 out of 10, and about 10 hours to 100%, no platinum for this one. For $5.99, Plants vs. Zombies Garden Warfare 2 is an action-packed third-person shooter where the battle for suburbia escalates to chaotic new heights. Play as both plants and zombies in 24-player multiplayer, 4-player co-op, or solo or split-screen modes, complete daily quests and challenges in the interactive backyard battleground, and unlock new abilities, weapons, and character upgrades while reclaiming your turf from the zombie utopia. It's an 81 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 3 out of 10, and about 45 hours to platinum. For $8.99, My Time at Portia is a charming life simulation RPG where you restore your pa's workshop and explore a vibrant post-apocalyptic town full of quirky characters. Build and upgrade your workshop with new machines and furniture, befriend villagers by completing requests, exchanging gifts, and going on dates, and explore the ancient ruins and dungeons to uncover resources, fight enemies, and discover hidden secrets. It's a 75 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 3 out of 10, and about 100 hours to platinum. For $9.99, Corpse Party is a chilling horror adventure where a high school student and her friends are trapped in a haunted, alternate reality school. Navigate the twisted halls of Heavenly Host Elementary, uncover the dark secrets of past tragedies, and evade vengeful spirits while making choices that determine the fate of the students, discovering hidden lore, and surviving spine-tingling encounters that test both courage and sanity. It's a 79 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 2 out of 10, and about 10 hours to platinum. For $7.99, Brigandine: The Legend of Runergia is a grand strategy simulation where 6 nations and a small tribe vie for control of the magical continent of Runergia. Select a ruler, assemble platoons of knights and monsters, and conquer enemy bases using tactical hex map battles and powerful elemental and terrain strategies, while managing seasonal planning and uncovering the secrets of the Brigandine armor and the fate of the continent. It's a 76 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 5 out of 10, about 140 hours to platinum. For $5.99, Mega Man Legacy Collection is a celebration of Capcom's iconic Blue Bomber, bringing together the original 6 8-bit Mega Man games in one nostalgic package. Play through the classic platforming action, tackle challenging remixed segments in challenge mode, and explore the museum mode with high-resolution art and historical content while experiencing the timeless gameplay that made Mega Man a legend. It's an 80 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 5 out of 10, about 25 hours to 100%, no platinum for this one. For $9.99, Blizzard Arcade Collection is an anthology that brings 5 classic Blizzard games to modern platforms for fans and new players alike. Play Blackthorn, The Lost Vikings 2, Rock'n'Roll Racing, and RPM Racing, experience enhanced original and definitive editions with improved controls and local multiplayer, and explore the museum with art, music, and behind-the-scenes interviews showcasing Blizzard's early legacy. It's a 79 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 4 out of 10, and about 20 hours to platinum. For $7.99, Griftlands is a deck-building roguelike where every choice matters as you fight, negotiate, and navigate a broken-down sci-fi world. Play as Sal, Rook, or Smith, each with unique decks, abilities, and storylines, battle challenging bosses, hire mercenaries or pets to aid your journey, and explore richly hand-illustrated environments filled with factions and unpredictable events that keep every run fresh and exciting. It's an 87 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 9 out of 10, about 55 hours to 100%, no platinum for this one. For $7.49, Gunvolt Chronicles Luminous Avenger IX is a fast-paced action platformer where you play as a high-tech hero who dashes into enemies, locks onto targets, and blasts foes with precision while exploring colorful stages. Use Copen's Bullet Dash to traverse levels, exploit each boss's unique powers, and collect new EX weapons, while unlocking powerful upgrades and racking up kudos points for high scores. It's an 80 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 3 out of 10, and about 10 hours to 100%, no platinum for this one. For $9.99, Blood Rain Revamped is a frenetic third-person shooter that follows Rain, an agent of the Brimstone Society, as she hunts supernatural threats during World War II. Acrobatically slash and shoot your way through Louisiana swamps, Argentine mines, and a ruined German castle, wielding vampiric abilities and an arsenal of deadly weapons, while uncovering a sinister plot involving powerful occult relics. It's a 70 on game rankings, trophy difficulty around 5 out of 10, and about 20 hours to 100%, no platinum for this one. For $7.99, Death End Request is a narrative-driven JRPG where a video game programmer must save his missing colleague trapped as the sole player in the virtual world of their game. Jump between the real and in-game worlds, solve puzzles using the game's mechanics, and battle enemies in turn-based combat that shifts between shooter, fighting, and RPG styles, while using character-specific skills to access hidden treasures. It's a 70 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 2 out of 10, and about 40 hours to platinum. For $9.99, Blood Rain 2 Revamped is an action-adventure game where you play as a Vampyr hunting your dangerous vampire siblings. Slash and shoot through hordes of demonic and human enemies using acrobatic movements, rail slides, and fatal finishing moves, unleash vampiric powers like time dilation and enhanced strength, and explore detailed environments filled with deadly traps and visual upgrades. It's a 73 on game rankings, trophy difficulty around 5 out of 10, and about 15 hours to 100%, a platinum for this one. For $5.99, Planet of Lana is a visually stunning action-adventure where you guide Lana and her loyal companion through a beautifully vibrant but threatened world, striving to restore balance to the planet's harmony. What begins as a journey of survival evolves into a deeply emotional quest across diverse environments, combining clever puzzles, stealthy navigation, and challenging action sequences that test reflexes, wit, and strategic thinking. It's an 81 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 4 out of 10, and about 5 hours to platinum. If you've played any of these already, drop your thoughts in the comments. Your insights help others find great games too, it's not just mine. As always, I want to thank all my channel members for their generous support, but to all you out there who watch, comment, subscribe, and all that good stuff as well, thank you. You're the reason I'm still having fun making all these videos every day, and I'm genuinely grateful for each and every one of you out there. If you can spare $1 a month, you get early access to all my videos, and it helps me out more than you know. But I know times are tough out there, so all I do ask is if you enjoyed the video, hit that subscribe button to stay up to date with any new sales stuff that I put out. Leave a like and comment down below if you've got any of these platinums or plan on going for any of them.